So I'm thinking we should do a card reading with the shadow side, not just the light side. Because there's so much we keep wanting to manifest and bring into our lives in a way that would create more happiness. But the things we're holding back, or that are holding us back, there's a reason why they're there. And I've just been seeing a lot of people that have been having issues in relationships and work and money, but they don't see the bigger picture in a way where it's as if you're looking at a scientific experiment or a story. We get too intertwined in the stories we're living to really see the not just the bigger picture in general as a species, but the bigger picture internally with you and your shadow side, the side of you that you neglected and really made out to be the enemy. That side of you that's constantly sabotaging you, but it's kind of helping you with that sabotage. So my intention with this reading is to get you to make peace with some aspect of yourself, to get you to see something about yourself that you're not wanting to look at. And having that thing acknowledged might actually help you clear the way. And this is a safe space, so I think it's okay to look at an aspect of our energetic being that we really don't want to look at or acknowledge, especially on our own. So I was sitting down earlier on the computer and this all just played out in my mind, so I'm kind of replaying this, or going through the motions now of making this video. So it's kind of weird for me because I feel like I just did this. Before we start, I want you to set an intention with yourself that you acknowledge that you're here to comprehend and gain wisdom in the vibration of unconditional love. Okay, you are recognizing that in some way, you know deep down inside, every situation in your life is teaching you something about unconditional love, whether it's towards the self, the other, or the greater whole. So that includes your shadow side. That includes your demons and your fears and your anger and all of that. So just take a nice deep breath and let's see where this goes. The deck I'm using, by the way, is by Riccardo Minetti. It's called The Dark Mirror, and Laura Saba. They get really, really deep. Like when I don't want to BS with myself, I pull one of these cards. I'm like, okay, what's really the problem? So, what is it that your shadow is trying to get your light to see, that your light can't see or refuses to acknowledge? And this also goes in alignment with your soul star. I don't know if you know about that. I'll make another video explaining more about it later. And I'm not talking about the chakra. The soul star chakra is something completely different. Or to me, at least, the way I see it and perceive it. Those are energy centers. The thing I read when I'm doing most of the readings is it's you. It's the part of you that's connected to the part of everything else, like the fabric in the tapestry. Obsession. Now, this message isn't from, your guides or angels or any entity outside of you. This is a mirror being held up to you. And it's pretty close to the Scorpio new moon, too. So it's really time to go deep and see what it is that your light is preventing you from seeing. She's not even looking there. She's looking forward with this like gilded crown. You know what I just got from this? Someone that's constantly looking at like Saruman with a Palantir in Lord of the Rings, constantly looking and searching for answers, but already knowing the answer deep within. And look at it. Look at that look in her right there. Focus. It's that look of, I already know, I just don't want to admit it to myself. And it's beyond your human life experience. This is a different species, a different version of you that's made out of light and vibrating at a higher vibration. It's like the light reaching into the dark, but it can't grasp the dark because the more light there is, the dark fades away. But the light's obsessed with the dark. So it diminishes itself to have more dark around it, but then it fragments and loses itself within that darkness. See? There's no hand attached to the body. It's become disassociated with the obsession of trying to find something or someone, or do something, or go somewhere, or accomplish something, to keep adorning yourselves with more vines and branches and connections. I'm curious what the book says. An elven face, the hair entwined with bark and thorns, stares at a blank, clear, empty round mirror. All things led to one, and then they disappear into one, until only that one remains. We chase comets and mirrors and shadows. Sometimes we actually chase cars or myths. Obsession is a trick of our perception. Many became one, and that one bloats as to take everything else. It feels like it, whatever it is, an idea, a person, an objective, flavors our life and gives it meaning to it. As all the light through a lens, it converges on a single point, and that point goes ablaze under the greatest fire. Sorry. But in truth, more than enacting our life, it numbs our attention to the rest. It makes us feel more awake, by hiding the rest of the world under a cloud of slumber. Obsession is a drug. In small doses, it whips. In big doses, it kills. If we drown inside an obsession, we should close our eyes. We don't die in the darkness, we just fall asleep, and then we can wake up more naturally. That's heavy. That is a heavy burden to have carried for so long. I'll put that deck to the side. This one is The Magic of You Oracle by Fiona Horn. I don't even think there's anything I need to say about this. So if someone is obsessed regarding a situation, place, person, like the book was saying, and the next card out says, make peace with your past. And the bottom of the deck being transformed the way you see. It does not mean cut off things and run away. It does not mean break yourself apart to make someone else happy or to grieve and suffer in silence. It does not mean poisoning yourself and numbing the pain. It means accepting what happened, regardless of what happened, and changing the way you see what happened. So if we're going to read this as a situation where, what example can I even give with this? That it's so specific. It's like someone losing everything to someone else. But did they really lose that thing to that person? Or did they help that other person gain something and then better the other person's life? So if you're going to look at a situation where you lost everything and you looked at it in a different way, you transformed it. Maybe you didn't lose everything. You helped somebody else with what you had because you knew you can keep going forward, having made peace with what happened, because you can still provide for yourself. You can still do and be completely yourself with or without person, place, or thing. The energy feels like someone that built a business and then gave that business to someone else and then walked away and started a smaller business by themselves. And at first they were looking at it as if they had lost the business and their partner betrayed them in the business and they lost everything to that, the VP of the company. But in reality, the person that helped build all that gave that to the other person and left to go do something else, because they knew that they could rebuild whatever they needed to on their own, but the other person needed the help more. So now you're being asked to look at the way you see whatever happened in your life and transform it from a victim mindset, from an obsession mindset, from a place of where you are just lost and looking for answers, to you really know exactly why what happened, and you are the person you are now because of the past experience. So judging it in a way that puts a label on it, that diminishes your worth, that diminishes the oil within you, would only harm you. So instead of being a victim, take yourself out of the entire title and label category. Everything is connected, right? We're all connected. We're all one family of life. So what happens for this branch at some point is going to happen for this branch. What blooms here will bloom there. What decays there will decay there. What's important is the warmth and the light within you. The heart, the sacral, the solar, the confidence, the love, the compassion, the fire and the passion, the drive to move forward and recreate and destroy and recreate and destroy, to filter and to even ferment the things you want within yourself, to be better for what happened instead of to be lost in the memory of what it was and how it played out. So you're basically being asked to rewrite the script of your life without rewriting anything. You're just looking at it differently. I'm going to leave this card out here because it seems relevant, more so than I gave it credit for in the beginning. Below that is tangibility. Make your dreams real. And I think we were talking about that in the video prior to this, by bringing the things you want into your life with some tangible way. Like if you love yourself, physically do things that show you that you just created a memory of an experience, a moment that you can look back on and say, I did something that was self-loving in that day. Whether it was getting your nails done or just massaging some, olive oil into your feet or something, like coconut oil, or just nurturing and nourishing your body. Bring the spirit into the physical. Don't just leave it out there and be like, oh, it'll come true someday. Like, no, don't wait. Don't obsess. You want something, start planting the seeds and do it now. There's no one that's going to come into your life and take away the pain you've been burning yourself with. Nobody. No one is strong enough to handle the pain you can handle. So instead of looking at it as you're being overburdened and burned from the inside out with all this, negative vibration you feel, instead realize that that negative vibration is there causing a trembling within you to help all that move and grow and bloom. Look at all those bees going to that nectar. It's the honey of your own life. And the more you obsess over finding an answer or finding a person or finding a job or an amount of money or beauty, it takes away from you. But what it's taking away, it's also giving back in a different way. So no matter what you're doing, even if you're lost wallowing in misery or pining or whatever you're doing, whatever pity party or anything you're having, even that is benefiting you. You just don't see it yet. Does that make sense? So stop being hard on yourself. Make peace with your past and transform the way you see. Because even the grief and suffering and obsession is actually helping you get somewhere. That shadow is pointing something out to you that's saying, you're not broken. And you're not wrong for crying. You're not wrong for being mad. You're not wrong for being paranoid or upset or untrusting or looking for answers, avoiding, disassociating, distracting. Those are all valid for what you've experienced. So stop punishing yourself. Oh, this is the Shadowscape Tarot. It's by Stephanie Puimanla. Probably completely said that wrong. I feel you. I feel that frustration, that deep sympathy for the self. Like, how is it possible that someone went through what you went through and you've still had so much to go, and you've done it on your own? Yeah, there's been people there. They've supported you when you've needed, support, but in those core deep moments within yourself, you were by yourself. So acknowledge that part of you that stood by you, that person that got you through the parts of you that you thought were so broken that you couldn't even connect how you expressed yourself to how you felt you really were. There was a complete disconnect until all of the connections in your life came and bloomed around you to help you see yourself again. Everything works out. Everything always works out. You just have to transform the way you see. This is also reminding me of someone constantly checking their phone for something and then feeling upset. Like every time the phone rings, they're like, oh, it's that person. And then they're like, oh, nope, it's not that person again. And this is giving me the vibes of someone playing the victim to get attention, but they're really fine. They're just milking it for what it's worth. You see this milky color and this, like, you can't really tell what's behind her eyes, whether it's sadness, laughter, mischievousness, anger. You can't really place what's going on. It's like someone's hiding from you in your sight. But are they hiding, or are they just watching from a distance while you go through your transformation and healing and reconnection of your true self to yourself? The whole of you, not just the parts you show to people. Let's clarify this obsession. Come on. Over a guy or a girl? Really? Who hurt you? Whose ass do I need to kick? Clarify the King of Cups, please. Actually, let me use another deck because something weird might happen. This is called, I think, the Mystic Dreamer Tarot, or Mystic Dream. I don't know. Well, if anybody wants to know, just ask in the comments. Clarify the King of Cups, please. I apologize. I don't mean to laugh, but I want it to be as clear for you as it is for me. Hold on, the camera is about to fall. No. Okay. And this one's just a regular Rider-Waite tarot. Clarify the King of Cups and the Knight of Cups, please. Sorry. Okay. You see it, right? You're obsessing over someone who doesn't want you, and you already know it. And they don't want you because you have to want you first. Transform the way you see them. They're not turning their back on you, even though it looks like it. They're doing their own thing while you do your own thing. Doesn't mean you're going to get back together at some point, because only you can manifest that into your reality in co-creation with the other people involved. So right now, there's no decision to be made. There's no choice. There's no wish being granted. There's no reconnection with another person coming into your life in regards to, sweeping you off your feet and taking you for a dive into the deep ocean. Why? Because you don't want it. This King of Cups character, this obsession with finding a partner and a relationship, is showing you that deep down inside, that high priestess that you are on the inside, doesn't have any requirement for a partner at all. So the silence in your relationship, even if you're with someone, and there's the moments of silence between you two where you feel like you're completely alone, that's not done to hurt you. That's done for you to add more layers to your life. It's not done, this person in your life, if this is someone external of you, which this obsession seems to be about, isn't someone who's off cheating on you or betraying you in some way. They're being guided by some deep inner knowing of themselves that they must remain silent and away, because you're going through something that's helping you transform the way you see everything, including your own habits and behaviors. This person could have been someone who you really love and really loves you. And as soon as you reintegrate yourself, they could just, plop right back. So I actually want to get more info on this, if this is okay. Clarify King of Cups and the correlating cards, please. Nine of Cups, Eight of Wands, Ten of Swords. They want you too. You are their wish come true. They're your wish come true. And all you want to do is run and find them and be with them, to leave everything you know behind and go and grow this new area with them. But something has to end first. What do vultures do? Where in your life are you not being a vulture to yourself? What needs to die in your life so that you can move forward? Doesn't have to be a, situationship or anything, but an obsession within you. Remember, because this is all about just you. This obsession is about someone else, but it's not just from them. They are a trigger, like an echo in the ocean. See all those waves and spirals? And the ding? This pain, this obsession has been around for hundreds of years. Turtles live hundreds of years. Who knows how long mermen live? And seahorses are in the seahorse, the male carries the babies. So this was like a father figure. It could have been a father to you, or a masculine aspect of yourself. Or a boyfriend, a brother, a friend, a cousin. But considering double Nine of Cups, to clarify each other, one reverse, one upside, a message coming in, quick movement, distance being covered, things being left behind, new growth, blooming. Remember in the beginning about the person giving up the company and moving away from something so that they can start something new? Because they know they can. It's almost like there's a, before I even say that, let me clarify something else. Oh my god, I've made a mess on this table. What else regarding this needs to be said? Oh, the deck I'm using, by the way, this one is the Last Unicorn Tarot. It's a lot. Like, a lot. The Hermit, Six of Wands, the Devil, Seven of Coins, Eight of Coins, Empress, Five of Swords. Oh, I see. It's a literal freaking story. Okay. Now we gotta focus it with this. Clear these out of the way. Okay, so we're clear on this part, right, you guys? What you wanted coming towards you. Something has to go first. What has to go is your obsession with that thing being there in the first place. The lesson, the shadow, the aspect of yourself, everything we already talked about. This is the Death card being right here, closes this story, okay? Because this is what your shadow side is trying to tell you. Your obsession with wanting something is keeping something away. But that obsession is showing you that deep within you, the thing that you want is already deep within you. You don't need that masculine energy in your life. You are that masculine energy. You don't need the feminine energy. You are that feminine energy. You don't need anybody. Once you can accept that and let go of that, all those negative expressions of wanting love and just taking care of yourself and who you're growing into, once you can do that, it's like giving up an aspect of yourself to the energy of death so that life can bloom. Kind of like the person you were got you to this point, so that now the person you are now gets you to the next point until you transform again into another person, another version, another aspect of you. So you go within. You acknowledge everything that's going on with you. You go on a journey. You travel the world or your imagination. You ignore time and you follow your deep inner knowing. Yeah, there's craziness in the world. Yeah, there's craziness within your head and your heart. But what really matters is that you acknowledge some form of physical life for yourself, instead of being isolated and alone and lost and sad and making wishes and intentions all the time. To go and experience life, to go swimming, to go horseback riding, to go gardening, maybe get a goldfish or something. You could try needlepoint threading, like making pictures out of needlepoint. You could design clothes, shoes, horse armor. I mean, you can do anything. What is it that will put a smile on your face and help you feel victorious regarding your life? Because this part of you, this innocent part of you, the soul of you, has been caged for so long. And this Red Bull isn't even trying to harm her. It's like simply existing. The shadow side simply exists and it terrifies the light. As if the light isn't worthy of what it wants. From the Nine of Cups in reverse over there. But you are worthy. You just have to acknowledge your physical existence as well. Life and death. The towers you build, the towers that crumble. your anger, your ferocity, and your innocence and gentleness. It's all you. You can't turn your back on who you were or who you are and expect to move forward. That side of you, that obsessed side of you, with whatever it is you're obsessed with, is worthy of having what it wants. But it can never have what it wants if it's constantly obsessed over having what it wants. Okay, I'm going to go through this real quick because the video is probably going to cut off soon again. We got the 7 of coins, the 8 of coins, the Empress, the 5 of swords. This is who you truly are, whether you're male or female. You've been through a lot and you've done a lot on your own. And if you simply acknowledge that you can make something out of nothing, you could make soup out of a single mushroom and a carrot and you'd be okay. And that it's okay to have a simple life, you don't have to feel like a victim for it. Then that treachery that occurred, that has you, that trigger in your life, that made you feel like you were going to lose everything, including the person you want to be with. If you can transform all that fear into looking at it as if you were being shown a lesson in how to be a human being. Because in the story, this unicorn is also this princess. This magician is also the one that helps her. But if you look at it in a different way, he betrayed her. But if you look at it in yet another different way, he showed her what home and family and life was all about, and love. So it wasn't a failure. You're not a failure. The relationship, the obsession doesn't make you any less of a person, whether it's positive or negative. It simply needs to be acknowledged and let go of. Because you have a lot going for you, and if you simply transform the way you look at your life from a victim mindset to a, not even a survivor, not even a thriver, but a humane, wise being with kindness and comprehension and intelligence and the ability to love unconditionally towards the self, the other, the dark, and the light. It brings out something in you. It'll cause an alchemical reaction within you that forever changes how you are. And you already know this. You know that if you stopped being the obsessed one and simply acknowledge that the pain, the experience, the sorrow, the backstabbing, all of that terrible 10 of Swords, 5 of Swords stuff, and the Devil card, you know, the things that come with those. If you simply acknowledge that if you were a goddess or a god on earth going through what you went through, there would have been no suffering. Had you known that already, right? Had you come into this life with the full awareness of the High Priestess, everything you went through would have been an easy, cut and dry decision. But you weren't given that. You were shown complete confusion and trauma and neglect and betrayal and denial and the opposite of everything you ever wanted. Manipulation, illusions, and mirages. And it jaded you a little. Like, it had you mistrust life and the universe. But all that was done to break you apart. To get you to reshape yourself into who you really are. Not who you were pretending to be. Not who you were forced to be by, standards of life on, current